of realizing smart dashboards. Now you know how to effectively mine for data. How do you take all the tools that we've talked about and assemble them into a smart dashboard? In this module, what we're going to do is we're going to examine how to create that smart dashboard by using all the components we've been working on, employing some best practices, and making sure you have the best possible options for design and layout. So you'll study those best practices and considerations for personalizing the home dashboard, and then develop the key steps that you need for your company to publish a dashboard to a specific user. Our objectives for this module, we're going to personalize the home dashboards, identify who can publish dashboards and to which centers, explain the key steps for publishing dashboards, and describe ongoing dashboard maintenance considerations and republishing steps. What is a smart dashboard? Well, a smart dashboard needs to display relevant and real-time data. We want to be able to leverage the various solutions we've been working on throughout these modules, including snapshots, standard KPIs, meters, save searches using a search portlet or a custom KPI or a custom KPI meter, and our KPI scorecard built with both standard and custom KPIs. I'll take you on a walkthrough now, and we'll take a look at some of the different portlets that are available for you to personalize your dashboard. Here's the dashboard we've been using throughout the course. Some of the things we've left out there from previous modules include our report snapshot. How do I know it's a report snapshot? When I go into Setup, I can actually see that that option is a report snapshot. We've also got our KPI scorecard in our last modules, key performance indicator portlet, and our settings. What else can we add out here? Well, you can go up to personalize the dashboard. Let's add a KPI meter. We'll just push that out here. We'll add a list portlet. Let's add a My Login Audit portlet. If you are CRM style, you can add in calendars and phone calls. There's a custom portlet if you're doing anything with Suite Script and it needs a place to publish a result. We have recent records, reminders for sure, shortcuts to other places. So we have a lot out here now. I'm going to move things around. In the middle column, you normally want to keep your numerics because you get more data. So I'm going to take the shortcuts, I'm going to push it over. And we have our report snapshot from a previous module. That's a graphic, so I'm going to put that over here. And then I've got a list. Let's take a look at our list. And I'll get a list of a record which will be useful. Let's try customer. And then we have our reminders. We've talked about that a few times already throughout the previous modules. This one here, My Login Audit, is very useful to help you or your user keep track of how their security is going. When was their previous login? Did they log in from a mobile device? How many successful logins have they had today? How many failures? When did they last change a password? And when does that password expire? Some good key information to make the user take control over their password situation. So as we talked about, you can move portlets from left to right. You can choose the layout that makes the most sense. And Any other dashboard that you need can also have customizations. So you can do personalizations on activities or transactions or lists, anywhere where you see this personalized button. The ones you cannot modify: Documents, which is the file cabinet; Setup; and Customization, which is the enabling of features and configuration of your system. Those three dashboards cannot be modified. All the others have that capability of being personalized. Don't feel the need to put everything on the home dashboard. Put it where it's going to be the most useful to the user with that dashboard. Let's review. First, we have the personalized option, upper right area of the home dashboard, and many other dashboards as well. You can select standard content that will support that user's business process flow and give them an analytic tools to be able to do their job. You can add things like report snapshots, trend graphs, the list portlet, a listing of records, a shortcut to frequently used reports, save searches, and the portlet date settings, allowing for a consistent view of the data throughout your KPIs, report snapshots, and KPI scorecards on that dashboard. The layout can be 2 columns, small left, large middle, small right. It could be 3 columns, as you see here. Try to put your graphics on the left or right-hand side and put your major numerical columns in the middle, because you'll get more data in the middle section. You must have the permission to publish a dashboard if you need to create a dashboard for somebody else or another role. If you have that opportunity, the Publish Dashboard link will display in the Settings portlet on your home page for the role that you're logged into. You can customize, you can name it pub:"role name and assign it to yourself for testing and creation purposes. Or you can use global permissions and give yourself, the person responsible for publishing dashboards, a global permission. In either case, you must be in a role with the same center type for which you are creating the custom dashboard. If I'm creating one for a salesperson, I can't do that from an accounting center. I need to do that for the center which is most relevant to that role. To get more information on that, go into Setup, User Roles, Manage Roles, and look at which center applies to which role. If you're not using global permissions, the following standard roles will allow you to publish. Administrator can publish a dashboard to the full access role. Marketing can be for anybody using the marketing center. Sales admin for the sales center. Support admin for the support center. And system administrator for the system administrator center. So I'm going to take a look now and show you how you can create and assign a customized role. And then we'll come back and we'll take a look at the steps you can take for publishing a dashboard. Okay, let's go into Setup, User Roles, and Manage Roles. This is a listing of all the roles and what center, is there a custom or standard role, and what center: accounting, advanced partner, executive, support, project, e-commerce. There's a lot of them. So make sure you evaluate and select the most useful for the role that you're going to be working with. Once you've done that, for example, we've got custom CEO, you need to have that role assigned to you so that you can log into it. So I'm going to go into Larry Nelson. And for Larry Nelson, I'll go to the employee record. And let's go into Access. And here I would need to give that custom role. So I'll come down here and I'll say we're going to use the Chatham Company or the CEO role or whatever role we've created that we want to use to customize. So let's review. As the administrator, you have the ability to create a customized role. So you'll want to take the standard out of the box role and make a copy of it and add in the permission for Publish Dashboard and save it. Then you will need to have that role assigned to you, and you'll need to change to that role. And when you change that to that role, you will be able to publish dashboards for that center. Do note, you should never use the administrator role to publish dashboards. If you want to assign the published dashboard as a global permission, then in your employee record, make sure that you have published dashboards assigned. Example, to publish a dashboard to the AR clerk, give yourself either the AR clerk role or another accountant type of role, bookkeeper, etc. Once you are in that role, you can add portlets, set the layout for the dashboards, add, remove, arrange as necessary, and go to each other center, activities, transactions, and modify the dashboards there as well. When you select the Publish Dashboard option, you will be given some choices to make. Do you want to lock the shortcuts? Okay. Users can add and reorder them, but they cannot remove them. Do you want to lock the new bar, where we put our saved search earlier? This will allow users to add and reorder links in the Create New bar, but they cannot remove links already there. And finally, do you want to overwrite the existing user settings? If you've been around for a while with NetSuite and you have existing users, you might not want to publish a dashboard over the top of what they've already designed. So if you don't allow the override existing users, the published dashboard will only go to root users that are accessing the role for the first time. So that's a choice you have to make. If you're a new company, you'll probably consider overriding existing. If you're a longer-term company, you may want to have the option to have it overwrite if the user is a new user to NetSuite, new employees. When you're publishing, you can select which tabbed pages you would like. You can choose whether or not you want them locked, or they can add or remove content, and then you save. And when you save, you'll want to go back into the role and make sure that the dashboards are comfortable for that user. Make any other final changes if you need to. Restrictions, unlocked, add users. The users can take content, they can change it, they can move it, and they can remove it, okay? This is if you want to give them dashboards as a starting point, but you're open to them making total changes. Locked means that they can't make any changes at all. Maybe it's for temporary workers. You don't want to have temporary workers making changes because they're there for a short period of time. So you give them a dashboard, and that's what they use. The middle ground, add or remove content, allows users to add, move things around, but can't remove anything that's published. This is usually the most popular option because that way you can design a dashboard with key metrics and options, but then in turn, the local user can add or modify as they see fit as well. It's a win-win. So we're going to talk about managing published dashboards and changing them. Okay, I'm in my role as Publish, Sales Manager, and I'm on the home dashboard. And because I have the Publish Dashboard permission, the first thing I can do is take a look at Publish Dashboards List. This will give me a listing of all dashboards that I've worked on and what the name of them is and what roles they apply to. So it applies for roles in the Sales Center. So let's go ahead and we're going to edit just a typical sales role. And you'll see now, here's how we manage that published dashboard. We can change the name. We can call this Sales Rep. Started May for new hires. We can determine now, do we want to do things like locking shortcuts? Maybe we want to have the shortcuts out there and we don't want them to change them. We can lock that new personalized bar up next to help for things that they can customize and work on. It's working for the sales reps in Canada and US East, and it applies to the following tabs. So we can say it applies to or doesn't apply to publisher dashboard or customer dashboard. We can choose which ones we want to work with. When we've completed, we can say save and update content. Once we've saved, it's now been republished. This means that the new changes will go out the next time somebody logs in to one of those two roles. That's how you can manage your existing published dashboards. You want to regularly evaluate your dashboards. Maybe you have new searches that came out. Maybe you have new features you've enabled which will cause different things to be necessary for the dashboards. So if your corporate or department goals change, perhaps your user role changes, NetSuite data is actually changing, you've got new features being added, or there's been an update to the system which requires you to consider putting new portlets out there as well. To change a published dashboard, you'll go back into the same option, except now you'll see links to existing dashboards for the role you're in. And once you find that, you can edit that dashboard and make any changes and republish. To do that, you'll come back into the Publish Dashboard mode. You will go ahead and make any changes as necessary, who's going to be applied to, and then click the Save and Update Content button. If you click Cancel, your changes will not take place. Your turn for exercise. 4 steps. 1, enable global permissions and assigns and sales roles. 2, design a home dashboard. 3, design an opportunities dashboard. And finally, 4, publish the dashboards and test your results. After you've completed these exercises, you'll have completed this module. This concludes this module.